Hi, I'm Waddles, and if you're looking for diamonds, I got you. Over the course of today's video, we'll be diving into a bunch of different diamond mining methods for the 1.21 update, talking different tips and tricks, and even ranking them from worst to best on this board behind me. Down below, I'd love to know, what's your go-to diamond mining strategy? Tap that like button while you're down there, and let's check out method number 1. So for today's video, I tried to go through just about every single diamond mining method that I could think of that at the same time was at least a little bit profitable. I've come up with 7. Method number 1, for this one, you're gonna need pickaxe on pickaxe, a whole lot of time, and probably a little bit of light too. Now when it comes to our supplies for each method today, you might want to have some other additional stuff on hand too, like for this one, maybe a shovel to fast track your way all the way down to the very bottom of the world. I figured in no particular order we'd kick off today's video with this method because this used to be my go-to classic way of finding diamonds. So of course, you know the basics. The lower you go in your world, the more likely you are to find diamonds. However, the lower you go in your world, the more likely you are to run into lava pits as well. Inside of your world, as soon as you hit about -54 or so, you should start to see more and more lava pits pop up. But at the same time, as soon as you hit -54 or so, diamond generation increases exponentially. And that generation will continue to increase until you hit about -59. Only a couple of blocks after -59 will begin to get this bedrock fade in, and when it comes to looking for diamonds, I mean, bedrock is no bueno. So in order to branch mine for diamonds most efficiently inside of your world, head down to -59 with a pickaxe, light, and a whole lot of time, and essentially start digging hallways. I'll go ahead and dig a hallway for a little bit of time, and then eventually turn to the side and that looks so staged, doesn't it? I dig a hallway that's 2 blocks tall so I can walk around inside of it. After a little bit of time, I turn to the side. Then I like to go 2 blocks over and basically turn straight back and make another hallway. By spacing your hallways out by 2 blocks instead of 3 blocks, you guarantee that you see every single block in here. After all, the main reason you're down here is really to find diamonds, right? Not exactly cover as much space as possible. That's a little extra pro tip with this one. Anytime you're branch mining down low and you find gravel, do the classic torch trick. Place a torch down, let the gravel fall onto it to clear out a lot of blocks as quickly as possible. The more blocks you can remove, the more chance that you're going to end up exposing a couple more diamonds. Patience is big with this one, but enchantments can help you do big numbers too. Of course, mending to make that pickaxe last longer, fortune to multiply your profits, and definitely efficiency to work quicker. When it comes to diamond finding methods, I mean, it's a pretty good method, but it's a little bit boring for me. By the way, diamond generation is the same on Minecraft, Java, and Bedrock, which means this video is for both versions and each method will work as well. Next up, instead of going under the ground, let's go on the ground. Well, actually, no, I take it back. Let's go under the ground. So for this method, you're going to want to have yourself a lot of extra time and maybe this time some storage saving things like maybe shulker boxes or the upcoming brand new bundle. Inside of your world, there are many structures that are going to generate, and many of those structures will actually have diamonds generating inside of them. The first structure I wanted to bring up on this list here is found under the ground. It's a mine shaft. It's kind of a 2-in-1. Depending on where exactly your mine shaft generates inside of your world, you might be able to get a little bit lucky and find some diamonds on the wall inside of the shaft. Otherwise, I'm not having very much luck today, but it's inside of the mine carts for you. Another fire structure for finding diamonds is actually the shipwreck. If you're terrified of the caves, you don't want to go under the ground, we'll just go into the ocean. It totally feels like, more often than not, if you can find the back half of a shipwreck, well, slide into one of the chests and hopefully you'll be able to find some diamonds. As an added bonus, in the back of the shipwreck, you'll also be able to find a buried treasure map. And you'll never believe one of the things you can commonly find inside of the buried treasure. If you're lucky enough to find buried treasure and then double lucky, sometimes inside of the buried treasure chest, you can find diamonds too. Now, admittedly, there are so many options when it comes to finding diamonds inside of structures inside of your world, but I made this list with the new 1.21 update in mind. And so, keeping in theme with the last couple of months, inside of Minecraft 1.21, we got a brand new structure, and inside of that brand new structure, from time to time, if you're lucky, you can break these pots open in the hallways, and actually, pretty rarely, but definitely a thing, from time to time, you're actually able to, oh my god, it's just like literally all emeralds. Sometimes, occasionally, super rarely, but you can find diamonds inside of these things, and even actually a full solid diamond block. Also, inside of the chest is going to generate underneath the staircase in this water feature room like this. Every time, you'll find a diamond. Looking through structures to find diamonds is fun, but compared to the other methods we're going to take a look at today, I mean plundering, looting, and such, it's just not as efficient. Ooh, for this next method, we're going to need 2 things. The deep dark biome and a hoe. So one of the more modern ways to find diamonds involves the deep dark biome. Bonus points if you can find yourself in Ancient City because, I mean, you're going to have a lot of open ground to cover. Move down to the deep dark biome and very carefully. You need to be so careful with this one because the risk is off the charts here. But we're going to want to go ahead and first things first look around for any of the skulk screaming shriekers. Those are bad. We're going to want to stay away from those or take them out right away. Now, once we're down inside of this biome, maybe armed with our basic supplies, but definitely at the least a hoe, we find a patch of skulk, use that hoe on the patch of skulk, and I mean, look at how quick this thing goes. If you can get yourself at least a decent hoe, you'll be able to insta-mine skulk, and when you insta-mine skulk, you expose a whole lot of blocks down below it. Diamond ore generation. So this is a little bit complex, but essentially, long story short, when diamonds generate in your world, they make multiple attempts to generate everywhere. The most amount of diamonds that'll generate in your world will, 1, not only be deep, but 2, be not exposed to air. Yeah, a majority of the diamonds that are going to generate across your world will not be exposed to air. That means if you can find a way to remove a bunch of blocks really quickly, exposing even more blocks to air, well, as long as you're careful and cognizant of how much noise you're making, you might have a pretty decent way to find diamonds relatively quick. You gotta be careful with this method though, especially if you're in an ancient city. It is dangerous. You're gonna get a ton of experience though, so that's nice. Now, before we move into our next method, I wanted to take a quick moment to talk about some general tips that you need to keep in mind for every method. So this one, I thought about saying it earlier, but I figured it's kind of a no-brainer. Fortune. Absolutely, 100% of the time to maximize profits, get a little bit of fortune in the mix. When mining a diamond ore block without any fortune, you will get 1 diamond every single time. When mining a diamond ore block with fortune, specifically fortune 3, you are going to average 2.22 diamonds per diamond ore block mine. The fortune 3, I mean, look, unless you're new to Minecraft, you have no reason, no excuse to not be using this enchantment for diamond mining. Absolutely always use it. Another great thing you should absolutely always use, no matter what method you're pulling off today, is a little bit of light. Light can come in the form of many different things, from torches to lanterns to sea lanterns if you're big rich, or maybe if you're into brewing, potions. Something like a night vision potion will help you be able to see every single block a whole lot more clearly, so you can make sure you miss not a single thing. And then knowledge, just a straight up pure raw big brain. Knowing a little bit of the science that actually goes into Minecraft diamond ore generation, where to look, where not to look, well, it's going to help save you a lot of time and help you big time. Next up for this method, the most middle method of all time, at least today, we're going trapdoor. And for this method, if you can get your hands on Swift Sneak enchantment, that's going to speed it up a lot, and also get yourself a whole shipment of trapdoors. Back down here, very bottom of the world, the branch mine that I was at before, get ready to take branch mining and essentially send it into hyperdrive. So here I've got a pickaxe with efficiency 5 and fortune 3. I'm also wearing nothing more than a pair of leggings with Swift Sneak 3. Look at how fastly I can mine through these blocks with this combination of things. I mean, check this out. All this takes is a pickaxe that is at least halfway decent and an amazing legging enchantment. And just like that, I can zip and zoom all the way around this low area of the world with high hopes and dreams of so many diamonds. Now, right now, unfortunately, I'm kind of going chaotic mode and going all over the place. Maybe you want to, like, you know, just like a normal branch mine, keep it a little bit more organized, and perhaps because of Bedrock down here, instead of at -59, you're pulling this off at -58. So let's go ahead and correct that. No big deal. All I need to do is break a space out so I can stand up again, break one block up, place a trapdoor, close it, and just like that, I'm into formation. After that, all I need to do is continue to mine hallways. I mine a long hallway until eventually I feel like turning. I turn one direction, I go 2 blocks over, 3, then I go ahead and make another hallway with 2 blocks in between. If you want to cover more ground, you could go ahead and do 3 blocks, but any more than that and you might be being a little bit goofy. It's really actually pretty insane. Always blows my mind how quickly you can move with Swift Sneak 3 leggings inside of these tunnels. Alrighty, back over next to the beautiful diamond statue I built today, we have a couple rankings to catch up. Deep dark mining. This is an okay method, it's just a little bit dangerous. Trapdoor mining, I'm gonna go ahead and put that even with branch mining. It's all up to personal preference. I like standing, but you could do the whole crawl thing. Now, this one is for the OG fans out there. TNT mining. Yeah, anybody remember this? Back like years ago now, way before Deep Slate, back when diamonds would generate at Y11 or Y12, I feel like there was a time in the community where it was like all about TNT mining for diamonds. You could place TNT down, back up, let it explode, expose like more blocks, and then go ahead and do the exact same thing again. Kind of the neat thing about this, you build a gunpowder farm, you make a sand duper, and I mean, this thing is kind of essentially free. You can get TNT really cheap and easily. However, nowadays, using TNT for block mining, I mean, even though every block is guaranteed to drop. I mean, look here. For starters, you have a Deep Slate now where you're going to want to do your mining at -59, and Deep Slate is way more blast resistant than ever before. Even if you wanted to do a little bit more setup and prep work and try and like maybe chain your TNT explosions together, it's still really not going to be very efficient, at least to me, who doesn't really exactly love to utilize sand dupers. If you're interested in pulling this method off, head down to -56 or -57. Start by digging a decently long hallway. Place a TNT, go 3 blocks away and place another one. 3 blocks away, 1 more, and then continue that all the way until you reach the end of your hallway. After that, light 1 TNT, back up as far away as possible so you don't get hurt, and let your TNT explosion just basically do the thing. If you have your TNT spaced correctly, your chain should go until the chunks are unloaded. After that, move down into your hallway and fingers crossed the TNT didn't blow up all the diamond ore itself. Of course, ideally, you mine every single ore with Fortune 3 every single time. Still down inside of some of the deepest caves that I could find, with an inventory full of these different ingredients, our next method kind of takes advantage of that whole diamonds not generating exposed to air thing. So place the moss block down and then use bone meal on the moss block, and you'll actually slowly but surely, kind of patch by patch, basically turn all of the deep slate or stone or whatever you're working with, it has to be a natural block here, into moss. Moss layers will sometimes get in the way. You might have to dig them out so you could like bone meal more blocks, but yeah, basically continue doing this until you have a sizable chunk of land all converted into moss. After that, it's hoe time. With a hoe, use the hoe and speed mine out everything, almost like you're in the almost like you're inside of the deep dark biome like we were earlier. You can take out all of these moss blocks instantaneously and expose 1 layer of blocks down below. Sometimes, maybe if you're lucky, you'll be able to expose more ores, the generated not exposed to air. The beauty about this method is you don't have to worry about moss accidentally like converting the ores into like more moss or anything like that, because ore blocks can never turn into moss. Also, blocks with things on them won't turn into moss either, like torches. The cool thing is with this one, if you have like a mob farm set up somewhere so you have infinite bone meal essentially, well, this method is self-renewing. You will place 1 moss block down, bone meal it, and then like pretty quickly before too long, you'll end up with even more moss blocks. Cool little side note too, if you're doing this in a big enough cave, something like this with some height, you could actually bone meal the azaleas too and harvest that for some wood farm as well. I hate to do it to you, I put it in here for the OGs, but TNT mining, no bueno. I mean, it's still a good method, all of these are good, but like TNT mining, get with the future, old man. Moss mining, on the other hand, I mean, it kind of does depend on what you have going for you in your world. If you have a mob farm built with infinite bone meal, then this is a very good way to mine for diamonds inside of 1.21. However, if you don't have that, then it kind of is even with the whole skulk mining method. Wow, and so here we are. We've almost just about checked out every method I had on the list today. If you've enjoyed this video so far, tap that like button, and if you want to see more videos just like this one, well, I've already got one out, and I need ideas for what I should do next, so drop that down below. For that one, I kind of went with the same vibe as this one, and I plan to do it for more things in 1.21. Anyways, big caving time. Grab your basic mining supplies, a little bit of night vision potions if you can afford it, a spyglass, and then some blocks to climb around, and head to the caves. Ooh, more specifically, head to the cave, the bigger the better, and also the deeper the better with this one. So diamond's always going to generate a little bit more deep inside of your world, but if you can find a big cave, kind of like this one, maybe a little bit more deep, drink night vision, and all of a sudden you can see every single block in a world. Combine that night vision with a little bit of spyglass, and you could zoom around really quickly at all of the walls from one spot practically, and find all of the potential diamonds sitting, waiting around for you. This is by far my favorite method for diamond mining inside of Minecraft 1.21, because ever since 1.20.4, when they increased diamond generation, I mean, running around inside of a big cave with a little bit of night vision potion, it doesn't compare to anything else. I mean, as long as you can keep yourself safe from any potential mobs that all seem to have ghosted me today, I can't complain. Now for this method, the type of cave that you're going to go with is very, very important here and will kind of determine everything. You see, unfortunately, in Minecraft, all caves are definitely not created equal. When looking for diamonds, we're going to want to ASAP shortcut ourselves all the way to the bottom of the world. These small dinky caves like these ones, not the best for that. Depending on your world, it can take a little bit of time for sure, but the easiest way to find a big cave for big cave caving is by flying around in the air and looking at the ground. Get yourself an elytra and then fly around looking at the ground the entire time until you find a cave that looks like it cuts pretty deep. Once you finally made it into that big deep cave, it's time to finally pop that night vision potion and start running around looking for diamonds. Really, here is just any kind of big caving that you can do. I mean, you cover a lot of ground really quickly, pair it with night vision. I mean, it's so simple. Eventually, after a little bit of time, hopefully you're lucky, you'll find some diamonds. If you've got some extra blocks, maybe even scaffolding, I mean, nice and easily and very quickly pile up the scaffolding, climb up the scaffolding, mine the beautiful shiny blue rocks, and move on to the next one. You could also use this method to easily find all of the other ores inside of these big caves too. We're talking lapis, we're talking redstone, we're talking gold, we're talking, hey, even more diamonds. You see how beautiful this is? And one final diamond mining tip, or really just mining tip in general, with any method that you use today, whenever you find diamonds, always 100% of the time, remember to dig all the way out around those diamonds too. Sometimes there will be more diamonds than your eye will lead you to believe, and other times maybe not so much. Basically, because of how a diamond chunk can generate, sometimes you'll find disconnected diamond ores, like a little diagonally off to the side of the thing. This is extremely important to keep in mind, especially when big caving, because remember, most diamonds will not be exposed to air. Big caving, I mean, it's always my go-to, and it's not even close. This tier is like miles ahead of this one right here. Big caving with the night vision potion, 100% the best way to find diamonds in 1.21. Thank you all so much for watching. A huge shout out to my channel members and patrons that help me make videos like this. What should I do next? Check out this one next. It's been me, Waddles, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye, beautiful friends.